Today is the day to know and remember that why we are here is simple and tender. It's to love without strain and laugh in the rain and believe that we're all here to win. Today is that day where we begin. We are the ones who have come forth together to lead with our hearts through this land. And we are the ones who commit more than ever to reach out and do all we can. For we understand now that the when, where, and how can be filled with pure love as our plan. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand. Today is the day to be still and listen to all of the ways to set our attention on how we're divine and able to shine even when skies seem dark up above. Today is the day to live in love. We are the ones who have come forth together to lead through our hearts through this land. And we are the ones who commit more than ever to reach out and do all we can. For we understand now that the when, where, and how can be filled with pure love as our plan. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand. We are the ones who have come forth together to lead with our hearts through this land. And we are the ones who commit more than ever to reach out and do all we can. For we understand now that the when, where, and how can be filled with pure love as our plan. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones. We are the ones who have come forth together. We are the ones who have come forth together. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand.
Okay, so that song started out with the line, "Do you remember why you're here?" Now we could look at that as like, do we remember why we're here? Okay, like when you wandered into a room, you're like, oh, why am I here? Or do we remember why we are here? And are we ready for that opportunity to know and express that we are the ones. Let that sink in for a moment. We includes all of us here, all of us here. We are the ones. Could be scary and exciting and empowering all at the same time. And how we can express that, we know that through what we have as our opening statement. So I invite you to take a look in your bulletin, and let's affirm our opening statement together. There is only one presence, one power, and one activity, God, the good, omnipotent. And the prayer for our church, as we keep in mind our church mission, to love the soul, to light the mind, to lift the heart, and heal the body. The prayer for our church, together. Bless the work of our church, O Lord. Let our ideals be true. Let our efforts be helpful. Let our words be filled with healing. Let our attitude be joyful. Let the stranger find true welcome and remain as friend. For the Father draws his beloved to this place in his name. Let love and understanding among all people establish peace in our world. Mother from God, we thank you. Now I invite you to call to mind one or two other people in your life in need of healing. This could be someone else. It could be the person who is in your seat. Whatever the prayer need may be, whether it's prosperity, divine order, peace of mind, comfort, healing, all prayer, in essence, is a prayer for healing. And we invite you to envision the look on the person's face when they realize that their prayers are answered, for it's not up to us to know what the outcome looks like for another person. It's up to them, between them and their God, but we can hold that look on their face when they realize that their prayers are answered. Our prayer for others together. As I behold the Christ in you, I see you happy, healthy, prosperous, loving, and beloved, going forth joyously to meet your good. And so we hold on to that thought, and we hold on to that picture, seeing those whom we pray for with the joy in their hearts and the spring in their steps as they go forth, knowing that their prayers are answered. And for this, we are grateful. Amen. Okay, I now invite you to join us in today's hymn, which you will find in your bulletin. It is on the cream-colored insert, and the hymn is titled,
I behold the Christ in you. I behold the Christ in you. Here the life of God I see. I can see a great peace too. I can see you whole and free. I behold the Christ in you. I can see this as you walk. I see this in all you do. I can see this as you talk. I behold God's love expressed. I can see you filled with power. I can see you ever blessed. See Christ in you hour by hour. I behold the Christ in you. I can see that perfect one, led by God in all you do. I can see God's work is done.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Lori Petrosino, and it is my honor today to serve in this capacity so that our senior minister, Reverend Rebecca Galati, can have some well-deserved time to spend with family to attend to personal business. So before we move on with announcements, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our honored guests. And if we have anyone here for the first time, if you could just simply raise your hand. And thank you. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can know that we love you and appreciate you. Miho, okay. So you received the packet, great. So you have a guest packet that gives you information about who we are, what we do around here. I think there was one in here. That's why I don't just like to always feel inside the lectern, but I'll go with what I remember is in there. So there's a welcome card that you can fill out that lets us know who you are and how we could reach you. We promise we do not sell your information to any kind of list because we don't know how to. And if we did, we wouldn't do it. So if you would fill that out and give that to almost any one of us here, give it to myself or to Missy, and we'll make sure that it gets to the office where your information can be entered, and you would get our newsletter with that. There should be a daily word in your packet, which is Unity's basic daily prayer text. And there's also a ribbon, I believe is the ribbon is on the outside. Thank you for showing me the visual. I appreciate visuals. And if you could, you can have it. I'm good, thank you. I'm almost, but thank you so much for being willing to help me out here. You can affix that to your garment so that we know that you're one of our welcome and honored guests, and thank you for joining us. Okay, let's see, it may be the summer and living may be easy, and yet we still have things going on around here. On August 16th, a Saturday from 10 to 1, Dr. Stephanie Bushman, our licensed Unity teacher, and she is also a ministerial candidate, will be giving a workshop online called Living the Prayer, the Art and Practice of Affirmative Prayer in Unity. And that is also a follow-up to a talk that she will be giving the Sunday prior to that Saturday. So if you are available, check that out, and I am sure you will be greatly blessed by both opportunities. We do have some ongoing social action ministries. The Interfaith Homeless Outreach Council, which was formerly known as our Project Lotions and Potions, we are now collecting the shoe boxes or Ziploc bags throughout the year, and they're over there in the corner. So bring them in as you complete your box or your bag. There is information in the narthex what you would put inside each box. And see myself or Missy if you have questions about that. We have the Critter Corner, which is collecting food and all animal-related for other animals too, not just our domestic animals that we typically think of, cats and dogs. It could be other types of critters, snakes, gerbils, birds, pretty much whatever you think of, but not lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, we're not going there. So that is also in the corner by the door in the narthex. And there is a flyer on the table with information about Plastic-Free July, a little step that you could take in reducing your use of plastics. And you can see me if you have any further questions or an interest in something like that. Groundskeeping will be the first, no? When is groundskeeping in August then?
Not happening.
Not happening?
Well, it's happening, but by a few on a certain date that they will discuss, that they're coming.
Okay, well.
Norma's Book Club.
Okay, so we have Norma's Book Club going on, and that will be the next, I'm sorry, I'm looking for that, and I'm not next Monday?
2 weeks.
Okay. Thank you. On August 2nd, we will be holding Norma's Book Club discussing the book, The 12 Powers in You. So please be sure to check that out. And if you do receive our newsletter, you get the link for these activities. So we don't put them out in the general public. So, am I complete with?
No,
Thank you so much. It's always good to have a sidekick. Have you ever noticed that? It's good to have a sidekick. And the Beloved Community Meeting, which has been ongoing monthly, for August, that is being held in July, on July 29th. And the email has been sent out with the information that you need, the work to do to prepare yourself for that meeting. If you haven't received that, please see myself again or Missy, and we'll do our best to get that information to you. And now I am complete. Okay, thank you. So I would like to call our daily word reader, who will be reading a daily word that is pertinent to today's lesson.
Good morning. Today's daily word is understanding, which comes from Monday, July 8th, 2024. And our affirmation is, I practice understanding for myself and others. You can find this on the inside cover of your bulletin. Let's affirm that together. I practice understanding for myself and others. What does it mean to pray for understanding? To know myself on a deeper level? To explore my contribution and place in the world? Perhaps it is to gain a more compassionate heart and learn new ways to work with others. As I pray for understanding, I embrace these possibilities and more. I pray to have an understanding heart for interacting with others. I pray for compassion toward myself if I have made a mistake, caused pain, or faltered in some other way. I have learned to treat myself with the same spirit of understanding that I would want to be treated with by others. And I follow the golden rule by treating others with the same understanding and respect I value for myself. Our Bible verse is from Proverbs 19, verse 8. To get wisdom is to love oneself. To keep an understanding is to prosper. And again, our affirmation together. I practice understanding for myself and others.
We are presently in the third week of a 4-week series based on the book by Don Miguel Ruiz, The 4 Agreements. The first agreement, be impeccable with your word, focuses on the creative power of the word. With the second agreement, don't take things personally, we are guided to realize that whatever someone else says, even if it is directed towards us, is really not about us. It is about them and their own perspective. Which leads us to the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Well, if you know me, and perhaps you've even got a little glimpse of some of that if you don't know me, you might very well be waiting for me to make the statement, well, you know what they say about assumptions, don't you? Well, that would be an assumption on your part, wouldn't it? And you know, I can't say that line today because it's not Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday is the only day when it is okay to say the A double scribble word from up here on the platform. So I'm sorry if you're disappointed. All right, okay. I'll tell you a story about the inherent hazards of making an assumption. Well, it was Christmas time, and in a second grade classroom, a teacher was receiving the gifts as students were bringing them up to her desk. So the daughter of the local supermarket manager brought in a beautiful basket of fruit, and the teacher said, "Yum, I love fruit," as she took a bite from the apple. The child of the candy store owner gave the teacher a pretty box of candy. "Oh, such delicious chocolate," exclaimed the teacher as she popped one into her mouth. Well, then came the local liquor store owner's son, bringing in a very large box. And she noticed that it was leaking a bit. So she touched a drop of the liquid with her finger and tasted it. "Is it wine?" she asked. "No," said the child. relieved since the school policy strictly prohibited the acceptance of the gift of alcohol. But she still had to check, so she tasted another drop, and she said, "Is it champagne?" "No," said the little boy, "it's a puppy." So I bet that teacher wished that she had attended the lesson about not making assumptions. It would have been to her benefit to do what teachers do so well, to ask a question, perhaps. What is inside the box? What did you bring for me? You see, to say, don't make assumptions, ask questions. So, what is an assumption, and why do we make them? The New Oxford American Dictionary defines assumption as a thing that is accepted as true or as certain to happen without proof. An article on the Four Agreements website states, assumptions are nothing more than the lies that we are telling ourselves. In the book, The Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz states at the outset of the chapter on pages 63 to 64. I'm sorry, it's actually, yes, that is 63 to 64. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe that they are true. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally, and then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. The whole war of control between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. Taking things personally and making assumptions creates a whole boatload of drama in our lives. I'm sure I'm only speaking for myself, but I'm not a big fan of drama in my life unless it's on a screen or a stage. If making assumptions is a significant contributing factor to the drama in our lives, and we've basically just stated, or at least I have, that I don't care for personal drama, the big question is, why do we get caught up in the web of making assumptions? If you have been reading the book during this series, and I don't want to assume that you have been, you might recall the Toltec term that Ruiz referenced in a previous chapter, and it's this one, mitote, which is the chaos of 1,000 different voices all trying to talk at once in the mind. Some may refer to that as the monkey mind. He says on page 64 that the mitote causes us to misunderstand and misinterpret everything, which leads to assumptions. Now, there was a made-for-TV show in the 1970s called The Point. I was a big fan of it. I don't know if anyone else in here is familiar with it, but there was a character in that movie called the Rock Man. And it was also a music album by the artist Nielsen. And Ruiz has a line that is very similar to what the Rock Man said. We see what we want to see, and we hear what we want to hear. He continues, we don't perceive things as they are. This reminds me of a phrase that Wayne Dyer would often say. We don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Going back to the website of the Four Agreements, there's another article on there that states, humans have a need to explain and justify everything. We have a need for knowledge, and we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know. We don't care whether the knowledge is true or not. Truth or fiction, we believe 100% in what we believe, and we go on believing it because just having knowledge makes us feel safe. The need to feel safe is a basic human need. Our brain is wired to keep us safe through a part in our brain known as the amygdala. The amygdala values speed over accuracy, so the formation of an assumption can happen in the blink of an eye. And here's the other thing. As humans, we are meaning-making machines. So going back directly to the book, on page 68, Don Miguel Ruiz writes, if others tell us something, we make assumptions, and if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. Even if we hear something and we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means and then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. Don't make assumptions, ask questions. So, on a surface level, it appears that making assumptions is primarily about others. By looking more deeply at the topic, we come to realize that it's really all about ourselves. We make assumptions because we tend to think that people see the world like we do, and that they feel and make judgments like we do. Ruiz also states that we believe others will mistreat or abuse like we do. And that's why we fear being our authentic selves around others. So we reject others before others can reject us, when we assume we have to act a certain way and cannot be our authentic self. And then we make assumptions about ourselves, too. Many people are known to either overestimate or underestimate themselves. And that typically happens when we simply react instead of responding. We don't take the time to sit with a question or pause before answering. Making assumptions not only creates chaos within our existing relationships, they can build a wall to the establishment of new ones. The founder of Tales and Trails Storytelling and A Story Worth Telling, and the Legacy Story Coach and Guide, Bob Pangisis, shares a story to this point. And he said, years ago, we moved into a new neighborhood. Our son was 14 and fond of blasting loud rap music on his boombox through his open window. We had a neighbor 2 doors down, an older woman who we would often see walking past our house on a way for a several-mile-long loop walk back to the house. Her stride was always fast and determined. She looked rigidly straight ahead, and it seemed to us that she had a perpetually angry and sour look on her face. When she walked by our house, she never slowed or made the slightest gesture in our direction. We assumed that she was annoyed by the sound of that rap music and wrote us off as rude neighbors. She didn't like us, and she really didn't like our son. Well, it was about 5 or 6 years that passed before we ever spoke a word with her. She was still walking that long loop every day. And one day she knocked on our door and introduced herself to my wife, who was home at the time. And the purpose of her visit was not to complain about the music or anything else. She asked my wife if she could pick some of the wildflowers that were growing in our front yard. She said that the flowers were for her son, who had recently been diagnosed with late-stage cancer, and that he loved wildflowers. And then she shared more of her story. We learned that just about the time when we had moved into the neighborhood, her husband had died of cancer. Those long walks were her way of healing from this great loss. What we'd interpreted as anger was much more about that loss. For 6 wasted years, we'd made assumptions and made up a story to go with it that had shut the door on the possibility of knowing our neighbor and what she was going through. Six years of assuming that a neighbor was full of scorn for them when she was actually working through the grief process. The story leaves me wondering what opportunities that I have missed in my life because of the habit of making assumptions. So, how can we change this habit? Let's go back to the book. And on page 72, Don Miguel Ruiz says, "The way to stop yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be. And even then, do not assume you know all there is to know about a given situation. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. Also, find your voice to ask for what you want. Everybody has the right to tell you no or yes, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you, and you have the right to say yes or no. Don't make assumptions, ask questions." Well, here in Unity, we have 2 powerful, impactful tools within ourselves to assist us in creating a new agreement to not asking questions. To not making assumptions and to make a new agreement to ask questions. Make assumptions. Don't make assumptions, ask questions. Feeling like Willy Wonka there for a moment. The power, those two tools are the power of understanding and the power of power. Now, in addition to the aspects of understanding that are on this banner of intellectual knowing and transcendence, there are other aspects of understanding which are comprehension, realization, and insight. Power, the power of power, includes the aspects of concentration, self-mastery, and authority. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore says this about understanding in the Revealing Word on page 204. There are two ways of getting understanding. One is by following the guidance of spirit that dwells within, and the other is to go blindly ahead and learn by experience. Unity minister, author, and retired vice president of Silent Unity, Linda Martella-Whitsett, expands on the comprehension aspect of understanding in her book, Divine Audacity. And she writes, "Comprehension is our ability to discover connection between thought and feeling, between the body's messages and our habits of thought, between accumulated beliefs and unadulterated truth. Comprehension comes from your listening to life, to your life." And I would add, personally, comprehension comes from getting curious about yourself, your motives, and about others. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verses 1 to 5, there is this advice on the impact of understanding. "My child, if you accept my words and treasure up my commandments within you, making your ear attentive to wisdom and inclining your heart to understanding, if you indeed cry out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, if you seek it like silver and search for it as hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God." And just for clarity's sake, it's important to realize that the fear of the Lord is not the trembling and bowing down towards a mighty supreme being. It's about respect. And regarding the self-mastery aspect of power, in the book Divine Audacity, which is found on pages 109 to 110, Martella-Whitsett says, "Self-mastery is our capacity to guide our thoughts, words, and actions in integrity with our infinite self, instead of reacting from human only or egoic impulses. We know ourselves, we respect ourselves, and we respect others. We do not fool ourselves, but tell ourselves the truth. We seek to understand the beliefs and emotions underlying our impulsive emotions so that we can correct misguided beliefs and change our attitudes. Self-mastery is a claiming of our wholeness and our self-determination." So by working with our powers of understanding and power, we can develop a more compassionate heart and learn new ways to work with others. The questions that we can ask in place of making assumptions, they need to be open-ended and expansive. When asking another person a question particularly someone with whom you have a relationship with, and essentially we have relationships with anyone with whom we're interacting, but a deep relationship in particular. My advice is to refrain from questions that start with the word why. Why questions tend to put the other person in a defensive position. So it's best not to use them, especially not to start with them. In their place, you can use the words, tell me more about, or what do you mean by, or what are your thoughts on? You're still getting to the why, but you're not starting with why. And when someone comes to you with a situation that is occurring in their life, and again, especially if this is someone with whom you have an established relationship, it's okay to ask if they're seeking advice or a solution, or if they're simply there just to vent. Many people just want to get something off their chest, and we are in this whole idea of a fix-it type of mode, and we think that we have to fix their problem for them. And that's not what they're looking for. They just want to get it off their chest. So it's okay to ask that question up front, too. Don't make the assumption that they want the problem to be fixed. They just might want to be heard, which is also another basic human need, to be heard and to be recognized. So through intentional use of our powers of comprehension, of understanding, and self-mastery, power, we can make great strides in not making assumptions. So let's take some time right now, some time to turn within and give conscious attention to changing the habit of making assumptions. So I invite you to turn within in whatever way feels safe, secure, and comfortable for you, whether that's closing your eyes or simply softening your gaze. And feel your body resting. Support it. With every breath, you soften a little more. With every breath, you settle a little deeper. And bring to mind a time when you felt the warmth of something greater than yourself. The warmth of love, the warmth of light, the warmth of the Holy Comforter. You've seen a glimmer of light, a moment when something stirred inside you, a quiet knowing, a pull towards something more, something sacred. The longing you felt, the desire to find more inside. It's your soul awakening. Hold on to that yearning. Let it guide you like a compass. You are not lost. You are being led. Every step of your journey matters. And wherever you are on that path, you are exactly where you need to be. Breathe in, breathe out. And now hear these words in the quiet of your soul. Live like you believe. Let that truth settle inside your body, in your heart and in your mind. Live like you know you are divinely created. Live like you know the Spirit of God is alive in you, as you, because it is. Faith is not the absence of doubt. It's the courage to keep going in the presence of it, even when you're letting go of what once felt certain. Even when you're just hanging on. In those moments of fear or questioning, you are not alone. You are being held. You are being led. So listen to your heart. Search in your soul. And you will find the strength you need. The light is within you. The light is you. The peace is already here. The peace is you. Allow these words to echo throughout your entire being. Live like you believe. Carry this light with you. This knowing, this understanding. And you have everything you need to live like you believe. And as you do, you walk closer in the way and nature of your true spiritual authority, and in the way and nature of Jesus the Christ. And you and we are all filled with deep appreciation and gratitude. Amen.
You have felt the warmth of the fire, and you have seen a glimmer of light. It's something been missing inside, something that you have been longing to find. Hold on to the yearning, and wherever you are on your journey, live like you believe, live like you know it's one sure way your faith will grow. Listen to your heart, search in your soul, and you'll find the strength that you need. The light, the gift of peace, when you live like you believe. There are things you'll have to let go, and you might feel you're just hanging on when you find yourself alone and afraid, questioning all of the choices you've made. Hold on to the burning. God's leading you on in your journey. So live like you believe, live like you know it's one sure way your faith will grow. Listen to your heart, search in your soul, and you'll find the strength that you need. The light and gift of peace when you live like you believe. Hold on to this yearning, and wherever you are on your journey, live like you believe, live like you know it's one sure way your faith will grow. Listen to your heart, search in your soul, and you'll find the strength that you need. The light and gift of peace when you live like you believe.
We all have what we need to live like we believe, and to believe that it is possible to live without making assumptions. Don Miguel Ruiz sums up the chapter in the book on pages 73 to 74. This, then, is the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Just saying this sounds easy, but I understand that it will be difficult to do so. It is difficult because we often do exactly the opposite. We have all these habits and routines that we are not even aware of. Becoming aware of these habits and understanding the importance of this agreement is the first step. But understanding its importance is not enough. Information or an idea is merely the seed in your mind. What will really make the difference is action. And if you're familiar with the 5 principles of unity, that's the 5th principle. Walk the talk. That's a sidebar. He didn't put that in there. Taking the action over and over again strengthens your will, nurtures the seed, and establishes a solid foundation for the new habit to grow. After many repetitions, these new agreements will become second nature. And you will see how the magic of your word transforms you from a black magician into a white magician. A white magician uses the word for creation, giving, sharing, and loving. By making this one agreement a habit, your whole life will be completely transformed. So remember, making assumptions can stir up drama and cause chaos in your life. Assumptions are not only about others, they can be inwardly directed. Use the powers of understanding and power to shift from making assumptions to a way of understanding others and yourself as you like to be understood. Use the concept of expansive questioning. Pause and get curious before you respond to another or to a situation. Check in with yourself what it is that's causing you to want to say something that is likely an assumption. So in fact, being a retired school teacher, I would like to give you an assignment. And that is, in this coming week, be curious about what's going on with the other person. And be curious about what's going on with you, for your reactions. And I look forward to having a conversation with you about this. You don't have to turn in a paper. It's for your own upliftment and for the upliftment of others. And have a blessed week. Don't make assumptions, ask questions. And God bless you all. And this is the time in our service where we have the opportunity to practice generosity. And so if you will see the blessing that is in our bulletin, and let's affirm this together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And for this, I am grateful. And let's affirm our blessing again with the pronouns us and we. Together, divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that we give and all that we receive. And we take a moment to know and feel the gifts of the blessings in our lives, the love that flows through each and every one of us, that blesses us and blesses those in our lives. And for being a part of this fabulous movement of spirit that is known as Unity, and here specifically at Unity Church of Christ, we are grateful. Amen. And I was a little remiss in also sharing with you that physical gifts and attendance cards can be placed in the box that is on the taller stool in the back of the sanctuary. And let's join together with the song I Choose Love, our closing song, which is on the back, on the reverse side of the hymn, and then to remain standing with the prayer for protection.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Please join us in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And where God is, all is well. And I see you this week not making assumptions, asking expansive, enhancing questions, being curious about others, being curious about yourself, and having an amazing week. Amen.
Today is the day to know and remember that why we are here is simple and tender. It's to love without strain and laugh in the rain and believe that we're all here to win. Today is the day where we begin. We are the ones who have come forth together to lead with our hearts through this land. And we are the ones who commit more than ever to reach out and do all we can. For we understand now that the when, where, and how can be filled with pure love as our plan. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand. Today is the day to be still and listen to all of the ways attention on how we're divine and able to shine even when skies are dark up above. Today is the day to live in love. We are the ones who have come forth together to lead through our hearts through this land. And we are the ones who commit more than ever to reach out and do all we can. For we understand now that the when, where, and how can be filled with pure love as our plan. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand. We are the ones who have come forth together to lead with our hearts through this land. And we are the ones who commit more than ever to reach out by taking a stand. For we understand now that the when, where, and how can be filled with pure love as our plan. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who have come forth together. We are the ones who have come forth together. We are the ones who have come forth together to reach out by taking a stand.